Okay, so here's a story about these three old friends, and they've known each other for decades, and one is a Catholic, and one is a Protestant, and one is a Jew, and they sometimes get very observant, and other times they kind of slack off and live the secular life, and then they all come down with these very strange symptoms. They all have exactly the same very strange symptoms. They say to each other, well, it's really a sad thing, but it looks like we've caught something from each other. We don't even know who got it first, but now we've got to get cured, so why don't we pool our resources instead of going to 3 different doctors that got them from, we'll just have one of us go, and then the one of us will get the answer from the doctor, and we'll all know how to cure our disease. And so they decide to send the Catholic there, and he comes back, and he's looking very serious, and they're worried. He says, you know what, we have some very bad news that we only have 6 months to live. And he says, okay, well, what are you going to do? He says, well, one thing I've always wanted to do is to follow the strict tenets of our faith. I want to go to Vatican City, and I'm going to learn to chant. I've already do this, Victime Pascali Laudes. Oh yes, you can see I'm already going to meet with the Pope, and I'm going to live my final 6 months in true devotion to the Catholic faith. And so the Protestant sits there and listens very carefully and quietly, and he says, well, you know, my family was a bunch of missionaries, and I've been sort of a failure, and maybe that's what happened to me. I didn't follow the proper path, and so I'm going to right now find out what it takes to get to Africa and go to the remotest village in the remotest part of Africa, and I'm going to preach the faith to as many heathens as I can in my final 6 months. And they say, okay. And so they say to the Jewish fellow, they say, well, what are you going to do in your last 6 months? He says, oh, are you kidding me? I'm going to see a specialist.